Laura and I are grade 1-2 teachers. When we began the integrative thinking and the whole Rotman experience, we became co-teachers.
Yes, it was almost like a pro within us. What are our different strengths and how can we use it to make things better?
As exciting as it was, I admit it was very scary because it was new to us and we were in some ways making wonderful mistakes.
It was a real problem that was in our school, and it was creating an outdoor space that was inclusive for all our students.
We started with a causal model because I thought, like, what is causing all this trouble in the schoolyard? And we realized that we had been a 6, 7, 8 school, and we had converted it to a K to 8, and we had brought a playground from another school with the children over and plunked it into another playground.
Our kids are very intrigued by the older kids, but they were coming in crying, saying someone got hurt, someone wasn't, playing with them. And I began to think, okay, so let's take a look, and using something like a pro chart, let's take a look at what models we currently have in terms of recess.
The kids were now invested and they were looking really closely, almost like they were using a microscope and really looking, as detectives would, at what could make our schoolyard better.
So we decided that we were going to take the kids to see a couple parks. They went in, and that's when they got the wheelchair out. And there were wood chips, much like ours. And they discovered that, 3, 4 of them trying to push a child through the wood chips was very difficult. We took them to an area away from the play equipment and everything else, and told them to find a place that intrigued them.
And we're going to just take some photos. We're going to be researchers, we're going to document. And then I started to ask them, why did you take that photo? What was it about going to that space that made you want to take that photo? And it really became about a big idea of belonging.
We saw kids negotiating in terms of, should we include our neighbors who are the old age home residents in our discussions?
It was really incredible to see that children that young, because they're very much self-centered at that age. It's a very me stage, and to see that they were in fact capable of seeing it from somebody else's perspective.
We began to do the prototypes, and so we kept working on those prototypes and building.
It was a joint project, so they took what they liked from everybody's ideas and incorporated it into theirs.
And they got to come here to the Rotman Center and present, which they were very excited about. They talked about the big ideas of belonging and including, and they talked about their trip, and they talked about, creating this prototype and what can we create from this.
Everybody was always looking at the negative, and to all of a sudden say, hey, you can only look at the positive, you can only look at the pros. You could just see how it started to change the attitude and the tone.
There was this energy and there was this coming together. And while we started off by looking at belonging in a playground during recess, this idea of belonging was starting to really spark deeply throughout our school.
I've already been sitting at home sort of thinking, like, how can I get this going? Because I really want it to be a part of the way they think. I really see the value in it.
I know come September, whether I'm their teacher or not, they are going to be saying, why don't we try this? What are the models? And they're going to be problem solvers. Because it was always within them. This just really allowed them to show and shine.
That's the best thing that has happened to Fairbank, that our kids are capable, and that mindset of growth and the ability to do and go beyond is there.